G'day, g'day. I'm hoping my audio is okay. Can you hear me all right, guys?
Yeah, brother, your audio is on a 10. Life is good.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Right on. My pleasure.
There you go.
Now, Danny, look, man, this is the first time that you've been on Spaces. Like, I'm sure you've done
Yeah.
Spaces before, but you and I have never been on Spaces together.
Yeah, actually, bro, I've listened into Spaces quite a few times, but I've never actually been on in regards to speaking on Spaces. So this is my first time. But yeah, we'll see how we go with it. Can't be much different to doing my YouTubes.
Not at all, my friend. In fact, I look forward to all of my interviews, but this one, I don't know, man. I've been pretty excited to really have a
Oh man,
conversation with you, and that's being as candid as I possibly can. And I don't know why.
thank you,
Maybe
my
it's
brother.
because of your personality. And I was just kind of mentioning that to the group before we got started. Man, you're just a great person in general. You tend to see the best parts of people and protocols and situations, and you don't spend too much time slinging mud.
Yeah, brother. Look, I there's something I was raised with. If you got nothing good to say, then don't say it. And yeah, that's why I kind of tend to lean away. I mean, sometimes I do have loose lips, and I say things I probably shouldn't. But in most cases, I try to keep it that way. I'm here growing businesses. I'm here trying to provide opportunities for people. I'm not here to make enemies in any way, shape, or form. And neither do I have the time for that negative energy.
I agree.
So it's just trying to stay up there, trying to be happy, and hopefully that carries on to everybody else that I have interactions with.
And
So,
it's exhausting, honestly.
oh,
It just
totally.
is. It's exhausting to carry that type of weight. So let's do this, Danny. And
Yeah, bro.
I've said this to people many times before, and I try to rephrase it differently. Like
Yeah,
sometimes you say to someone right before you're about to say something extremely profound, you would
yeah.
say, "Can I be honest with you?" Right? Have you heard that before? Right? And I'm like, no, I want you to lie to me. No, of course I want you to be honest. So what I've done
Yeah,
is I try to rephrase it and say, hey, look, let me be candid with you.
yeah,
So you and I both enjoy
yes,
crypto and we also enjoy having a conversation.
yeah.
So you and I could literally talk for maybe 2 hours and it only feels like 15 to 20 minutes, right?
Exactly, brother. Yeah, totally agree with you there. We just carries on and on and on, and yeah, I'm
Right.
quite
So,
used to that now.
so instead of
Yeah,
maybe going like 2 hours, let's do them a favor and cut it down to like an hour and 59 minutes, something like that.
beautiful. I think that'll work.
Hey, my listeners, how do you guys feel about that? Are you cool with us saving you guys a whole minute? Give me a thumbs up if that's okay.
Oh man,
Now,
yeah, no, that's fun.
here's what we're going to do. Let me remind people who I am if this is your first time coming in. So, my name is Kryptonite with Drip to Well. And each week I hand pick special guests to interview. And typically they're investors, developers, content creators in the space. And my goal is singular. It's really to expose a broader audience to this digital currency called crypto. And the best way for us to accelerate our personal development in this space is really to leverage someone else's experience. So, with that said, I want to welcome all of you guys to Crypto Nights. Crypto Nights. So I am joined by the co-founder of Drip Potluck. He's also a very successful OG crypto investor, an entrepreneur, and the hardest job he probably loves the most, and that's being a father. Welcome,
Absolutely.
my friend, Danny D. Let's go, brother.
Hey, g'day. Thank you so much. Man, it's actually quite overwhelming. The attention that I'm getting these last couple of months at least. And I mean, I've been around the space for a long time, but yeah, you touched on the fact of being a father, and I guess that in reality that does take precedence over everything else. I know I spend a lot of time every day, like with working and things like that, where I'm supposed to be retired, right? But I do. I guess I'm on Telegram for probably 18 to 20 hours a day. Just trying to keep up with everything. And then on top of that, obviously working with my dev team, putting marketing strategies together as well with my marketing team, being sure that we're on strict compliance. So I'm dealing with my legal team and compliance team and accounting. And it's just, it can take a lot out of you, but I always try to, I always make sure to find the time to spend with my kids, with my wife. And, that's super important.
Love it.
The money is nothing if you can't share it with people,
Agreed.
and share it with your loved ones and stuff like that. And so, I've made a few mistakes along the line, and I've got a second lease at life pretty much now. And that's where my focus is. I think it's really important to put family first always.
Soundbar. So let's do this.
Yeah.
So before you became this legendary pop star in crypto, what were you doing professionally before crypto?
Well, actually, I've been in the IT industry for many, many years, and that was one of the things that I got into initially, because nobody would give me a chance. Right. I had no education, I had no qualifications and things like that. So to beat that whole system, and this is going back many, many years ago, even before the internet started, I looked at trying to get into these opportunities of getting into the IT industry and just having doors closed on me all the time. So I decided I'd go down to the auctions, and I bought a couple of old computers and just pulled them apart, put them back together, try to find out how it works, and then basically through that just grew a business. That was in my late teens, and
Gotcha.
just from there just expanded out, and then was able to gather enough experience there, like through having my own business, that it allowed me to then work for some major corporations around the world, because of that. And then so that's IT. But I was also, when the web came into play, I was a pioneer in web positioning, which is known today as SEO.
Okay.
And and back then, I mean, there was like hundreds of search engines, and I pretty much ranked number one on every single one of them under web developer or web designer or internet consultant, internet marketing consultant. And in doing so, I was found by a couple of, I'm not going to say the names, but a couple of major organizations around the world who wanted me to develop their websites and stuff for them.
Okay.
And just, luckily for me, I did also have contacts within the industry. And there was one particular country, I would say, that wanted to have their website be accessible for everyone around the world in regards to like travel agencies. And they wanted it all built on Oracle. Okay. And just so happens, one of my good friends was the head of finance and operations for Oracle Asia Pacific. So we did a deal. And to this day, Oracle still manages all of their stuff. So basically, I brokered the deal. And that was about a $10 million project.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Right. So, I mean, considering I was running it like through a rented, one bedroom in a rented apartment, it was pretty damn good.
They paid you for the value you provided and the knowledge you gained through years of experience, right?
Yeah.
Who cares where the hell you stayed? That's phenomenal, my friend. Yeah.
That's it. And then, just from that, just branched off into other things. I mean, I've owned panel shops, workshops. I love tinkering with bikes and cars, and that kind of created a business as well over time. And getting into this space, basically what it was, I'd already pretty much semi-retired anyway, but then surviving on savings, and then just doing my hobbies, which became businesses. That sense of retirement can actually be short-lived.
I bet, especially for someone like you, because you seem like you stay fairly active, and you kind of staying put. That doesn't seem like that resonates well with your DNA. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when, well, it doesn't, bro. You know,
Yeah.
there's always that thing. It just keeps you moving. It's like,
Yeah.
when at the age of 29, all the work I was putting into it, at the age of 29, I actually suffered a bit of a heart problem.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
and I got pericarditis just due to stress and things like that. And so I was in ICU and coronary unit for, I think it was about like 3 weeks at the age of 29. And after that, I thought, what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I need to take that step away. And that's where I decided to just semi-retire. And I just went out fishing every day.
At 29?
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 52 now.
Right on.
So I just went out fishing every day because that's my passion. And I haven't done it in like 20 years, but that was my passion. And then I thought, okay, this is fun, but I want to do something else. And again, I have this passion for cars. So I ended up buying a little car and, with the idea of like, modifying it in my own time. And then I had a mate turn up and said, hey, can I help you with this? 3 months later, we had 3 workshops with 12 staff. It was just one of these.
Just by circumstance, that's all. 3 workshops and, big ass staff.
It was just crazy. Yeah. And and then I ended up coming over here for a while.
Yeah, that
it.
was your second career. Yeah,
it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. But I mean, it was great having those workshops because I could build my own cars and not actually spend any money on labor because I just use my own people, right? So that was fantastic. But, moving forward, getting into the crypto space, basically, I came over here to the Philippines where I am right now back in 2003, supposedly a 6-month holiday. And here I am like 20 years later. In that time, I've grown businesses, I got married, I got kids, I've got a house, I've got properties here. So it's very difficult to just pack up and go back home, to Australia. So was just doing my thing here, had a few other businesses and stuff here. And then obviously got hit by the pandemic and that kind of put a handbrake on everything over here anyway. And then
that's what's weird is because I mentioned to someone else in Telegram, we were talking through the time zones to set up the spaces for today, and I was like, I hear the Australian accent, so he's got to be somewhere in New Zealand or something like that. They're like, no, he's in the Philippines. I was like, I did not guess that, but it all makes sense though. Yeah, now I want to hear your story. Okay, I got it.
So I ended up again just doing my thing over here, had call centers, had businesses and stuff like that, shut all of them down, and it just started just messing around with bikes again here at my house and set up a workshop at my house. And then that little hobby became a business as well, which was crazy, and then obviously with the pandemic and the workshop being connected to my house, I actually restricted people coming. So I just decided to shut that down.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So again, we're eating into the savings, and actually we started to find it really, really difficult. Extremely difficult. And I think, I've said this on my stream, so anyone that's been following me, we struggled so much that there were times, and, this is being a father, there were times when I had to say to the wife, look, go to your parents' house, take the kids, because I can't afford to feed you. Now,
that's a tough conversation to have. That is absolutely a shot directly to the heart, especially as a father. Right? Not just a male, but as a father who's looking to provide and protect their family. That's a tough conversation. To literally, not one, you thought it, but then eventually you actually had to let those words come out of your mouth to your spouse. Yeah, that's
a tough one, bro. And I never want to be there again.
Understood.
So, and then just so happens that my partner, Crypto Lucky, he called me up one day and he says, bro, we got to get into DeFi. And I dabbled in crypto before that, but he called me up and goes, bro, we got to get into DeFi. I'm like, man, my phone is just about dead. My laptop, it just freezes and shows me text on the screen every 5 minutes kind of thing. Yes. I just didn't have that ability to do it. And then after giving it some thought, I said, you know what? I said to the wife, I said, we've got to do this. So we scraped together $40, bro.
$40. Wow.
Whole $40. And to scrape together $40, we literally had to eat eggs for a whole week.
Oh, wow. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm coming from, like,
No,
so
and
I
that's
went from
good.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the situation you were in, but in terms of people really understanding the backstory, right? Because
Yeah.
clearly, I don't know how often you've shared this story with people. So, one, I appreciate you
Yeah.
being so candid and transparent with me. That's phenomenal, quite frankly,
Yeah.
because what happens a lot of time is people see the fruits of your labor. They don't
Mm.
necessarily understand what got you there, right? So they don't
Yeah.
understand the sacrifices that you had to make, the tough choices you had to make, the painful conversations you probably had with some loved ones, the moments
Yep.
maybe you actually had to lean on other family members and or
Absolutely.
friends for a short period of time. People don't see that. They just see
Yep.
the fruits of your labor. So what's really fantastic is someone today who may be in very similar circumstances may say to
Yep.
themselves, Danny was able to make it to the other side. I can too.
Yes. Yep. That,
I can
and
too.
I guess that's what I try to do, brother. Every time, when I do my live streams, I'm talking with people. I mean, this is me. I'm straight out. I'm not hiding anything. I'll wear my heart on my sleeve and just let people know that, you know, I'm just an average guy, really.
Yeah.
Right? I know, yes,
Yeah.
I've said I've achieved things and, the things like that, but I'm really just another guy. And, a lot of times with my streams and stuff, I try not to get too much into the technicals because I don't want to lose people on that. Right? I
Yeah.
want to really bring things back to basics. And so, yeah, that $40 allowed me to retire a year and a half later through crypto.
Okay,
So,
yeah, we wait a minute, hold on. We got to get into that. We got to get into that. Hold on. You cannot let that slide. Let me send, look, here's what I'm about to do because that's just crazy. Let me send this message to everyone because they are missing it. And for all of my listeners, I don't do this often, but I'm going to ask for a favor. I need everyone to take a moment and retweet this and let people know that we are live with Danny right now. Because one, I already knew that this was going to be a very compelling, entertaining, informative conversation. And I know Danny's going to have some tricks up his sleeve. I knew that was coming, but I didn't expect this, right? And it's really important that people understand who he is at his core because people are investing real money. And part of it
yeah,
is, can I trust the source on the other side? Well, how the hell are you going to know if you don't interact with this person, that you don't spend time with them on YouTube or on Spaces trying to figure out who the fudge sickle he is? So here's an
yeah,
opportunity for people to, one, hear you, but then two, if they're brave enough, Danny, there's a button at the bottom left of the phone. They can raise their hand to speak and either leave a comment or ask you a question. So that's what I love about Spaces. So again,
yeah.
everyone, small favor for me and Danny, please retweet and let people know, get your butts in here as fast as you
Yes,
possibly
please do it.
can. Right on. All right, so let's do this, man, because perfect segue into to crypto, because I want to follow up there, right? So
Okay.
you called Crypto Lucky, or he reached out to you, and he was like,
Yeah,
"Look, man, we've got to get into
yeah.
DeFi. DeFi, in my opinion, is different than crypto. They're both
Yes.
kind of like under the what's the right word? The parent company, which is
Yeah,
crypto, and then there's all these different subsidiaries. And I'm saying DeFi is a subsidiary of crypto, right? So
absolutely.
you went extremely risky, which you probably didn't know at the time. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me how that conversation went.
Well, it was just one of those things, bro. It was like, yeah, I was exposed to crypto when Bitcoin was $17,
A whole
right?
$17. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
$17. And the guy that introduced me to it went out and bought 2,500 at $17, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I didn't jump on the boat, right?
Why
I
would you?
didn't jump
Because
on the
nobody
boat.
can explain to you what the heck Bitcoin
Well,
is at that time,
yeah.
and then try to buy it. Oh my Lord, stop it.
Yeah. And in my mind, as the years progressed, because I didn't really look into it that much, I always thought that you had to buy a whole Bitcoin.
Good point.
So I'm
Good
like,
point.
oh well, I don't have the money to get that because at that
Yes.
time I just paid cash for this house, so a lot of my savings were gone, and then just got married and stuff like that. So it's like I've got to kind of watch my spending a little bit here, and I wasn't ready to take that risk back then.
Yeah.
But then, a few years later, I saw what was happening with my friend, and you know, then the kind of the FOMO starts to set in. So you start to dabble a little bit here and there, and then obviously, riding the wave and trying to learn the process. And I then took a step away from crypto
Okay.
after that, right?
Yeah. Now
And
let me ask you
again,
this before you
until
transition.
Lucky called me. Yep.
Do you remember what your first crypto was that you purchased? Your very first one. Do
Um.
you recall what that was?
Uh,
It wasn't Bitcoin, obviously, right? It was something
no,
else.
no, no. It wasn't
Yeah.
Bitcoin. It wasn't Bitcoin. You know what, bro? I'm 52 years old, and my memory is like really.
You're like kryptonite. Look, man, I've got so much in my mind, right? It's like moving furniture. I've got to move this aside. I've got to move this chair over here. I got to move this desk over here just to get to that answer. Uh,
It may have
we'll
been
follow up,
XRP, bro. I think it
right?
may have been XRP. I am not 100% sure. It's many years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right
And
on.
I wasn't so passionate about it at the time to even really worry about recording it and taking notes of it. It was just, okay, well, yeah, I'll throw a few bucks into there and just see what happens. So I was never really focused on it. And, as I said, I dabbled in crypto, but again, it was just dabbling. It was not really, taking it seriously until
Yeah.
this time, back in um, 2019, huh? 2020, December 9, 2020. See, I can remember things like that because this has like had a major impact.
Yes.
December 9, 2020 is when I jumped back into DeFi and had to scrape together that $40,
Understood. Right on.
right?
And probably
That
the best decision of your life, sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a total life changer. Again, coming through that time of the pandemic where we were struggling, and everyone around us was struggling as well. Because I don't, I mean, I know things were tough all over the world, but man, over here, you know, there was only one person allowed out of the house. They had to have a permit to do so, and you could only go out for essentials, and we were pretty much locked inside for 2 years.
Okay. That's a long time. And then to
Yeah,
your point, not being able to really earn income could be a
no,
struggle. Yeah, because how do you do that
absolutely,
if you can't really go
absolutely.
outside? Yeah, that had to be tough. So
Yeah,
now I understand kind of diving into the savings to really maintain your living
yeah,
expenses. Yeah, okay.
that's right.
Understood.
Yeah.
I get it. I
So,
get it.
it was a struggle, but yeah. And then moved into DeFi, and the rest is history. It was a real life changer.
No, that's good stuff, Danny. So let me do this, man, because I want to be able to use like maybe the last couple of questions to kind of segue
Yeah,
into
sure.
the big topic that everyone's excited to hear about. So,
Yeah.
getting into crypto, there were probably tons of lessons that you've learned over the years. Obviously, not your first purchase because none of us really know
Yeah.
what we don't know at
Yeah.
that time. You've got to spend
Yeah.
days, months, years in it, and in most cases, kind of taking some L's, aka losses, aka
Yes.
lessons, right? So let me ask you this: what have you learned about yourself in terms of investing in crypto?
Um, Brother, I think on my side it's a little bit different because one, I could never really call myself a degen. Okay,
Okay.
I try to take calculated risks, and I do get involved in certain things that, well, initially, the first thing I got into, I made a lot of money on, which was really good. But then things started to go down. So it's not like I really lost because I still always ROI'd,
Yeah, smart
right?
man. Yeah.
So, again, you don't really lose unless you sell,
Sure.
and only ever use, other than my initial $40, which was a struggle time, you know, don't only ever use, only ever invest comfortably.
Okay.
Okay. Use
Yeah.
risk capital. Don't overextend yourself. Don't use your mortgage payments and that kind of thing. All right.
Hmm.
Just grow with it. And I think if you can maintain that, um, um, investing into things comfortably, then you don't have the emotional attachment.
Yeah, see, that's
Okay.
good. So let's do this because man, we say that, slightly different from what you just said, but it all means the same,
Yeah.
right? So other people will say only invest risk capital, and you would say,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. For me, it's only invest what you're comfortable with, right? So if you
Yeah.
were to make that extremely simple for a noob, could you break
Yep.
that down and explain to them kind of like what that is? You know what I mean? Like someone says, well, hey, I've
Okay.
got like $500 and I wasn't going to do anything with it. So yeah, that's money I can afford to lose. Not necessarily, my friend. Not really. So if you were to
My
think about it, how would you
yeah.
break that down? Yeah.
I would break it down into this, and it's the same as everything else I do. Okay. When you invest in something, you usually have some kind of a goal that you want to achieve. Okay. But you should be asking yourself the question first is, why do I want to achieve that goal?
Mm.
And if you can keep that in your mind when you go to invest, then you're probably going to be okay. So, when I speak with people and I tell people about my journey and my story and that, it was never about looking at crypto and saying, hey, guys, this guy's bought this Ferrari or this guy's bought this Lamborghini. Okay. It's never been about that for me. It's about this. Ask yourself the question, if I'm going to get into this, is this going to be able to pay my bills?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. And how I started off, I just selected my smallest bill and I wanted to make sure that my crypto journey was able to pay that smallest bill consistently.
Love it.
Okay.
Yep.
And then from that, you just add another bill and another bill and another bill and another bill. And then before you know it, if you've made the right choices and right moves and known why you want to do these things, before long, all those things are covered from your crypto plays or your crypto investments, right?
Oh, I
And
love it.
that's a much more comfortable transition into the space instead of thinking, man, I'm going to go in and I'm going to 100x my money and I'm going to buy this Lamborghini and these castles and the fucking private jet, excuse my language, right?
Yeah. 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 Word melter. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I think if people start out with that in mind and bringing it back to the basics first, why I want to do it, rather than what I'm doing it for, right? To achieve the
Yes.
Ferrari or whatever. Why do I want the Ferrari? Why do I want the bigger house? Why do I want
Yes.
this? Why do I want that? And if you can define that within yourself, I think that's where you're going to be successful.
Love it. Soundbar.
Yeah.
Soundbar. Danny. The playback on this one is gonna be a banger. That's all I gotta say. The playback is gonna be a banger. Hey, look, man. I told people before we started, you and I could literally go for hours and still look at the clock and say, "Oh my God, it feels like it's only been 15 minutes." So I'm gonna do this because here's the odd part. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
right at about 30 minutes, which is shocking.
Yeah.
I want to see because we've got a minute or two for our listeners to
Yep.
ask a question before we jump into your project. So, for my listeners, any questions, comments for Danny D before we transition? I'll give you guys like 10 seconds or so. You guys an opportunity to look for that button at the bottom left of your phone to jump on in and say what's up to Danny D.
Yeah. Ask away, guys. Ask
Danny,
away.
I told a story last week that which is odd because I don't have a problem speaking in public. Neither do you.
Yeah.
What's weird is that I was listening to someone's spaces. I had no idea who they were, and I had a question, and I was kind of nervous to ask the question. That was odd to me. So it happens to everybody,
Yeah.
right? All right.
Absolutely.
Hold on one sec. I got FL Realtor. Just give me 1 second here. All
Okay.
right. Let's see. FL Realtor, can you hear me? All right, let's see. FL Realtor, you still there? All right. Legacy.
I'm here.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
Hey,
How about
brother.
yourself? Hey, brother.
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, man. Appreciate your time this evening, man. Hosting this. This is neat. I'm used to looking at YouTube, the AMAs. I've never been on the Twitter feed here, so this is a new change. Exciting to
Well,
be here.
welcome. Right on. I
Yeah.
appreciate you being here too. Right on. Are you in DeFi crypto?
Yeah. I've been in it for a little while. I don't have any questions. I've been knowing Danny for quite a while. Been involved in several projects with him, but I'm just glad to be here and just wanted to say hi to everybody. And thanks to Danny for such a great journey we've been on with Stable Swap, and looking forward to the ride some more, my friend. Appreciate it.
Right on.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
FL Realty,
Yeah,
appreciate you chiming in. That's fantastic.
FL Realtor is one of my super mods over on the official Telegram group for Stable Swap. So we've known each other for quite a while. Yeah, back in the drip days as well. So
Excellent. FL Realtor, do me a small favor if you haven't done it already. I'm sure you're on your job. Can you share this tweet inside of the Stable Swap Telegram? That would be awesome. Because I tried, and obviously I'm restricted because I'm not an admin. That would be awesome. I appreciate that, sir. You are a rock star and a legend. Nice.
Yes.
All right, what we got here? Give me 1 second. Drip Community PH. Let me see if I can add you here as well. Let me see if I can get him connected, Danny.
Yep, no problem, bro.
All right, Drip Community PH, I have invited you to speak. Can you hear me? All right, so if you accepted the invitation, which you did, bottom left-hand corner to unmute. Perfect. Can you hear me?
Hi, Triptowell. Yep. Morning, everyone.
Hey,
how
brother.
you doing?
Hi, Mike here. Hi, Danny. We are reaching 1 million TBL. I'm feeling so very excited. This is a major milestone. So, what's the plan ahead upon reaching this major milestone?
Oh, that's a good question. Danny,
Yeah.
hold that thought, because I want people to understand why he's asking that question, right? Because we really haven't even introduced your project. So I want to introduce the project, and then we'll get into that question. So let me go back to him. Drip Community PH, man, that's a phenomenal question. We're definitely going to answer that for you. And I appreciate you being here tonight. So hold tight, please. Thank you. With sugar on top. All right. So Danny, let's do it, man. So for those that are listening and been hanging in there with us, you and I traveled to the Philippines, and you said, "Hey, KK, meet me at this high rise. I'm going to take you out to dinner. You just got to go to the top floor, and the restaurant's there." Well, I get there, ran on time, and oddly enough, I meet you in the elevator. And I say, "Danny, yo, can you tell me about your new project called Stable Swap? Can you give me the elevator pitch?" Hey, I'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. I will be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir.
Oh man, yeah, someone hit me with this the other day.
What is the elevator pitch, Danny? Give it to me, and then you and I
the elevator
kill
pitch.
it apart. Yes, sir.
All right. So basically, what we have is we have Stable Swap, and Stable Swap is liquidity by the people for the people, and it's an opportunity for people to provide liquidity to a platform, and they earn rewards from external revenue, and the external revenue comes from our fully licensed and legit. Fully licensed as in EMI, electronic money issuance, and VASP is virtual asset service provision licenses through partnership with a company called Top One Tech, who I've had great association and relationship with for many, many years. And so we basically have a OTC, which is over the counter, externally, and that generates revenue through splits on exchanges from fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. It also generates revenue from international and local remittance and various other things there. And what we do with the revenue that's generated on those fees, we share those fees back to the Stable Swap platform and to the liquidity providers, and so all of the rewards are paid out through the OTC, which is an external revenue source. And so unlike any other project where, many other projects where they're requiring to pay out rewards from the TVL, so taking it from the total value locked and then using that to pay out rewards, we don't do that. So zero Ponzonomics. The fact that we're using stable coins, also there's zero volatility. So there you go. That's 60 seconds.
And that's good. So check this out. Look, I'm experimenting with some stuff, and I think it's fantastic that it's with your project. So I'm going to do this. So for all of my listeners, I need you guys to chime in. For all of my listeners, give me a thumbs up if that made sense to you. And if we get more than half, Danny, we'll just keep it moving. Just keep it moving,
No
right?
worries.
Because think about it. We're here for the listeners and we want them to really
Absolutely.
understand stable swap. So if that flew over their head, then we missed the mark, right? And we're
Yeah.
trying to hit a bullseye. All right. So I've
And that
got,
wouldn't surprise me.
yeah. But hey, man, that's why we're here, baby. That's why we're here. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Holy crap, brother. You hit the bullseye. We're over 50%.
Oh, beautiful.
Well done,
Beautiful.
Danny. Well done. All right, so this is what we're going to do, man. Again, this is a segment that I'm just kind of toying around with. And because you're such a creative person, maybe someone can help me come up with how I want to name it. So the whole point of it is to really cut to what this project is by responding to like frequently asked questions, right? So these are the things
Okay.
that people stumble on all the time. So I'm playing
Yes.
around with like rapid fire or what's another word? Rapid fire machine gun question, whatever. I just want to ask you a question and then you give me the most concise answer. Because here's what I realized in this space, sometimes we overcomplicate things, and human
Yeah.
beings are very simple creatures, right? Most people read at like 8th grade level or below, right? So
Yeah.
they don't want it to be too techy because then it becomes maybe a bit intimidating. And if that's the case, then they're not even interested in it any longer. So if we can really just raise our focus on very specific questions for people to understand it, then they walk away with like, oh, that was easy. I get that. All right, so cool, boom.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try. So let's try some rapid fire. Hey, I need a name for rapid fire. Quick questions, whatever you guys want to call it. Drop them in the comments. I may have some money to give away for someone who comes with something pretty creative. All right, so let's
There
start
you
with
go.
something like this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you just explained to me what stable swap was, right? So
Yes.
how do I get started, right? Is there a link that I need? Is there a website I need to go to?
Yes. Okay,
Perfect.
so we have the official website, obviously, which is out there, which is stableswap.live.
Yes.
But generally, when people ask me for that in the chats, I generally don't. I say, yeah, that's it, but I prefer that you actually go over to our affiliate lounge so you can use somebody else's referral ID to get in there, right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
personally, yeah. So yeah, that's the website, stableswap.live. But again, I
Yep.
suggest to go and go back to whoever introduced you to it or how you came about this, and go join up underneath them.
Yeah, and I will be leaving my referral link in the description if you guys are interested in joining. But I
There you
promise
go.
you will be once we get through all of these. So there it is, Danny. So fantastic job, clear, concise, straight to the
Thank
point.
you.
So now I'm on the website, which is stableswat.live. So
Yes.
it says I must register, right? So what do I need to register
Yes.
on your website?
Okay. The only thing you need to do when you go for your sign up or your registration, only thing you need to do is create a username and email, okay, and password. That's it.
No blood type, no first and last name, no photo
That is
IDs,
it.
no KYCs.
It's also optional to use a referral ID. You don't have to use a referral ID. Now, if you don't use a referral ID, that automatically puts you underneath the sales and marketing wallet.
Understood.
Okay, so that just
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
supports the system, but it's entirely up to you.
Okay, perfect. So to register, again, all you need is a user ID, email,
Yep,
and a password. There it is.
that's
Real
it.
simple. Okay, so here's another quick question. For security reasons, right? And I
Yes.
want to continue to remain anonymous.
Yes,
Do I need to connect my MetaMask wallet?
absolutely not.
What?
That's it. Absolutely
Ladies and gentlemen, are you picking up what he's putting down? You do not have to connect your wallet.
Yep.
All right, so if I don't connect my wallet, which is obviously an option, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the other option if I don't connect my wallet?
The other option, well, you can just use what's within the system on the dashboard to do your deposits, withdrawals, etc. The system will allocate you a wallet address on the system, which you can then send funds to from wherever you want to be sending them from. You can do them from your normal exchanges. You can do it from your MetaMask wallets or anything that you want to do, and you don't have to physically connect it to the site.
Right, because on the site there's going to be a place for you to deposit funds, and there will
Yes.
be an address or a QR code that you can use
Yes.
to copy
That's
that
right.
and send the money using
Yes.
that. Come on.
Yes.
So again, guys, very discreet, no KYCs, tons of
Mhm.
flexibility. All right. So let's check in with our folks and make sure that we're answering the questions. Okay. All right, listeners, one more time. You guys are really active today, and I appreciate that. Thumbs up. Is this making sense to you guys? Is it clear? Is it concise? I just want to make sure before we rattle down the next few questions. Give me a thumbs up if this is working for you guys. See what they say, Danny.
Yep.
Sweet. We're doing our job. We're doing our job. Okay, Danny. So now
Yes.
I'm on my site. I can either connect my wallet or I can transfer the funds in using the receiver address or the deposit address,
That's right.
rather.
Yes.
All right. So which cryptocurrencies are accepted?
Okay, right now what we have is USDT and USDC. We did have BUSD, but we removed it because we were comfortable with it, but the community asked us to, we're asking the questions, what's going to happen with BUSD. So due to community demand, we removed BUSD, and then basically the BUSD that was actually still in the system, we then swapped that over to USDT. So all the BUSD that was on the system is now USDT. So you have options of USDT and USDC, and you have them on 3 different networks. USDT, you can do it on Tron, Ethereum or BSC. USDC, you can do it on Ethereum or BSC.
Nice. All right, guys. So again, keeping it pretty simple. 2 tokens, stable coins at that, USDC and USDT. Fantastic. Now, all right. So now I know how to get in. I know which tokens I'm going to be interacting with. Now I'm starting to think about how much money I need to pull together. So is there a minimum and a maximum deposit? Fantastic.
Yeah. Right. So we've got to define the difference between deposit and liquidity provision, which we'll go into the liquidity provision shortly, I'm guessing.
Good to know.
Okay.
Yes.
In regards to the minimum deposits, if you're using USDT on Tron, minimum is 50 USDT.
Yes.
Okay. Then on BSC, it's minimum of 25 for deposit. And on Ethereum, it's a minimum of 250 USDT. Okay, given the fact that obviously Ethereum is very expensive in gas, etc. And the thing is that we don't actually charge you a deposit fee.
No deposit fee. Yeah, that's a good question.
No, that's right. So we actually cover all those internal gas fees initially.
That is so sweet. So no deposit fee. And the minimum you can get in for as little as $25. But depending on the network, in Ethereum's case, is as much as 250.
Yes.
A minimum of 250.
Now,
understood.
Just on that, bro, we did make some changes the other day. I want to explain to people out there, because even though we did set those minimums, people were actually still attempting to deposit below those minimum amounts. And what would happen is that it would get sent to the wallet, but the system would not acknowledge it. Okay, so it would still be sitting there in the wallet address, but not on the actual dashboard. And so what we've done now in the last couple of days is to eliminate that. What we've done is we've allowed people to put in lower than the minimum, but they will be charged a fee.
Oh, I saw that, and it ranges anywhere between like maybe $2 on the Binance Tron network,
$2 to $15
for ETH. Yeah, I did see that. I wasn't sure if that was the withdrawal fee, but I read it as if the deposit was below the minimum, there will be a transaction fee. Okay. Yep. Perfect.
We had to implement that, bro, because what was happening is that, when people do that, obviously we don't want to just let their money sit there, and they've obviously put their hard-earned money into it. But the thing is that at times it was costing me more for my staff to go in, try to find it, and then do a manual process, and it was just so time consuming and obviously costly to do it that way. So we implemented the auto process for that, where it'll automatically do it and deduct that amount if you're putting in amounts below the minimum threshold.
Got it. Now let me ask you this: is there a
Yes.
way to modify the contract that will not accept anything below the minimum?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So you guys are probably already thinking about that then. Right on.
Yes.
Hey,
But,
okay.
to keep it simple, man, even if we did that, it's already stated there on that deposit page
Sure
that,
is. Yeah.
so they're the parameters you got to stick by, and that's what you should do. But if you do
Yep.
mistakenly send something, well, at least you're not having to message me or, the tech team and say, hey, I've sent this and it's disappeared. It's not in my wallet. It'll just automatically go through for you.
Sweet. I love
Lesser
it.
fee.
Okay. That's perfect. All right. And then they'll learn the hard way, which is how most people learn lessons.
Yes.
Is it's going to cost you an extra few dollars, and you're going to be like, wait a minute,
Yep.
what happened? So I won't do that again. Fantastic. Okay. Got
That's
it.
right.
All right, Danny. See, we're cooking with grease, man. All right. So now
Yep.
I put my minimum of $25 into my wallet on StableSwap.
Yes.
Now I've got some options, right? I got like
Yes.
3 options. What are my options?
So your options are 60 days, 120 days, or 300 days. Now,
Yeah.
on the 60 days and the 120 days, minimum to provide liquidity is $50. Okay,
Yeah.
50 USDT or USDC.
Yep.
On the 300 days, it's a minimum of 25.
Okay. Got
Now,
it.
with the current rates right now, the 60 days is 0.1% a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for 60 days. And let me just bring that up on my side. My memory is okay, but
no, it's okay, and I'm gonna help you out. Then we got a $120 days for 0.2%.
Yeah.
And then we got 300 days for 0.35%.
Yes, that's right.
We are
So
cooking
now,
with
just
grease.
on that, it also shows like APRs. Okay, APRs, just for people to know, because there's a little bit of confusion about it, but we do have to state it this way. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the APR, when you talk about APR, it's annual percentage rate. Okay, so that rate is actually calculated over 365 days.
Correct.
Not the term. So, like for example, the short term 0.1% a day. Generated APR is 36.5%. That is 36.5% for the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's an annual rate.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we get the 0.1%? As well, we divide that 36.5 by 365 days, and then we multiply that by, basically it's 60. So what you do, the APR divided by 365 will give you your 0.1%. And if you want to know what your actual percentage is, you would take that 0.1% and multiply that by 60 days.
And do you want to know when I found out that the math was different? It's after I invested and I started to do the calculation. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. And I was like, APR, KK.
That's right.
Annualized. They annualized it for you. But if you really want to get your true return on your investment, you've got to multiply it by the days of your term. I was like,
that's
okay.
right.
But I can see why there can be a little confusion, obviously, right?
Yes.
So it makes sense, which is why it's important to continue to educate people on what they're looking at. Because a lot of people get excited. They see the 0.1%, the 0.2%, the 0.35%. They're like, I'm in and I'll just figure it out later. But if we continue to be forward thinkers and really articulate in the simplest way what the annualized rate is versus what they're going to be getting at the end of their term, there won't be so many surprises. But that's only going to take time. So no, I'm glad you explained that, because that was going to be one of my questions. Thanks.
I mean, the thing is that, people have said, can we put that onto the site? And I think if we do put it onto the site, I mean, we have considered it, but if you put that onto the site, that's going to confuse people even more, because then you're looking at 3 figures.
Yes. No, I think it's fine the way you have it. Yeah, I think it's fine the way you have it, and the message is going to get out there, so it's all good.
Yes.
So now we're talking about the APRs. Before I get there, so when I look at the APRs, I'm shocked. I'm like, oh my god, this is pretty high, right? So how are you guys able to sustain it? And I know it goes back to what you said pretty early in the conversation, which is, hey man, we're earning fees, but again, how are you guys able to pay and sustain these APRs?
Okay. I mean, that on its own could be like an hour conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree because I saw the
But
list.
yeah. There's so many things that we are bringing to StableSwap, and each one of these things, contributes to the revenue generation. But just to put it simply, the liquidity that you provide for this system is then used on StableSwap OTC, as well as a number of different OTCs and other projects that are connected to Top One Tech. All right. So, and basically that liquidity that has been provided by the people, that is used multiple times within a day. All right. So, if you look at it on our early bird, I think the maximum was 0.53% a day. Okay. So now, based on that 0.53% a day, and that's our maximum liabilities there.
Yeah.
So, let's just say, for example, to keep it simple, that, let's say we had $1 million in the system. Okay. And that $1 million is turned over, 4, 5 times a day, 10 times a day, however many amounts, more than one. Let's say it just gets turned over once. So turning over it once, and you look at the fees, etc. I mean, you're averaging anywhere between 1.5% all the way through to about 12%, depending on what the transactions are. So even based on the minimum 1.5%, okay, and our liabilities is 0.53% on one turnover only, we're sustainable and we're profitable.
Oh my God! Just on one turnover.
Yeah,
that's stunning. Wait a minute. That's
right.
a sound.
Even just basing it on.
That's a sound. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, for us, we're not stressed at all in regards to providing these APRs. And people will say, "Oh, you're making so much more profit. You can give us some more as well." Well, the reality is that yes, obviously we're a business. We're here to make profit. Okay, but what we are giving and what we are offering now is actually still very high comparable to anywhere else out there in the market, in both traditional markets as well as the crypto space. So crypto markets. So obviously we are making profit, but we are growing. We're going global, and obviously that all takes that all costs money. Also, we've just set up our office here as well, our physical office here. And then from moving forward from here, we're setting up India, we're setting up Dubai, we're setting up Vietnam, Turkey. I think Malaysia's on there. We're setting up in Central America, basically literally going global. So you obviously need to make those profits to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Because how else do you scale? Because when you scale, that requires resources, and that typically means people sources, and you've got to pay them for their time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why not do it out of the profits of the business versus constantly going into your piggy bank? Yeah. Because then it's personal. It's not the business that's funding it. No, the business should be funding growth. So right on. Good for you. That's how you use your profits. Fantastic.
But yeah, the liquidity that people are providing is not used for any of that growth.
Okay. It is not.
That is literally used to fill orders. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So so you're still making profits, right? You're just not saying the liquidity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to me now. Okay, I got it. All right, so let's do this. So in the spirit of the APRs, because I'm sure this popped up at some point.
Yes.
Someone may say, "Hey, Danny, your APRs are kind of mid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're much higher than the bank, but not as high as what I get on some of these DeFi yield forms."
Yes.
What do you say to someone who's made that type of comment?
You know what? That's absolutely fine as well, and I think that's great, and that's the way that we intended it to be. We're not some kind of a hype machine that's going to get people to FOMO in because this is just the super high APRs. The thing you've got to consider there is these APRs, yes, they're high, but they're not excessively high. But the difference is that you're dealing with stable coins. Okay. So, I mean, we could offer you really high APRs on a particular token, for example, but that token may dump in price tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we're using USDT and USDC, you don't have that volatility.
Soundbar.
Right. So there's your,
Soundbar. Come on, man. Look, Danny, Clearly, you know your business, and this is part of building trust within the community, right? They want to speak to someone that's really thought through their business model and really understands it. And your answers are spot on, right? Because you've thought
Thank
through
you.
various scenarios, right? You're not really
Yes.
doing this for the spaces. You've literally thought about this through trial and error of being an entrepreneur over the years, and then spending
Yes.
time in the DeFi space, really understanding where the gaps are, and your
Yes.
protocol is hoping to close them one gap at a time. So right on, brother. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Still in, who said this to? I think it was FL Realtor. So we're going to roughly call it for you, my friend, the lightning round. So we've got like maybe 4 more questions in the lightning round, and we're going to cook with grease. All right. So we talked through liquidity. Now we know what my choices are. I finally made a choice, and I'm going to commit to stable swap. So I'm going long, right? So I got
Okay.
$100, and I'm going
Yep.
into 300 days.
Yes. Isn't that beautiful?
The math on that. So I already did it. So my rewards at the end of 300 days, right? So I'm earning roughly
Yes.
35 cents a day, Danny.
Yes.
And that's for 300 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my math says in rewards, you will earn through 300 days $105.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the question that everybody is scratching their heads trying to figure out. And I already know you got the answer.
Yep.
What happened to the $100 that I gave you? Do I get that back too?
Absolutely. And it's automated. So at the end of at the expiration of your term, it automatically goes back to your stable swap wallet balance. You don't have to click claim, you don't have to click withdraw or anything like that. It automatically gets refunded to you. Now, in saying that, I want to explain that a little bit more.
Sure.
That liquidity provision that you actually provide, the coin that you go in with and the network that you go in with is the same as what you do to take out. Okay. And effectively, the liquidity provision that you provide is still technically yours. We only have custody of it and management of it for that term. It is actually yours. You are not exchanging it for another token.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So it is actually still yours and it gets given back to you at the end of the term.
That is crazy. So it's still ours at the end of the term. Yep. So math says I earned 105. So my initial investment was $100 for 300 days at 0.35% daily. I'm earning 35 cents per day. Over 300 days, my total rewards is $105. Then at the end of the term, I get my $100 back. So I have essentially doubled my money.
Yes,
I've doubled my money. And I promise you, people don't understand that. Because if they did, your TVL will be close to $2 million.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So we're on our way. So, ladies and gentlemen, you get your principal back plus your daily earnings. Fantastic. Now, this one is an impromptu one. I noticed there are no compound buttons on here.
That's right.
But there is a clever way for people to reinvest back into stable swap. Okay. Can you explain that?
So basically your rewards are paid out every single day. Okay. And it's like clockwork. It's automated. Your rewards come back to you every single day and automatically go straight into your stable swap wallet balance. Okay. So there's no need to claim or anything like that, hit claim or compound or anything. Now, there are a couple of stipulations there. To actually withdraw those rewards, they have to reach a minimum threshold of 50 USDT or USDC.
Got it.
Okay, before you can actually claim those out and take it to your MetaMask wallet or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, but if your rewards accumulate to a minimum of 25, you can actually then take those rewards and put those into a whole new liquidity provision, if you wish. Okay. Also, so
would you withdraw that and then so you would literally withdraw it and then just reinvest it back in?
No, you don't need to withdraw it at all. It just automatically goes into your stable swap wallet, and in which case, once you go to your liquidity provisions, that balance is already there. You can just go straight from that balance.
Got it. Right
Yep.
on. So you don't incur any additional fees for
No,
claiming because
no.
it's in your wallet. The only fees are the gas for the transaction, essentially. Wowzers.
Yeah, but internally anyway, there's no gas for that internally anyway.
Not even. Let me think
No.
about that. Okay. So I earn the rewards, which shows up in my wallet balance, which
Yes.
in turn is in my wallet. And now
Yes.
I can just go ahead and create a new stake for the
Yep.
$25. I'm with you.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Cooking with grease now. We are
And
cooking
there's
with
no
grease.
gas to do that. Well, there is
Oh,
internally, but that we cover all of that anyway, so that doesn't matter.
shout out to
So
Stable
yeah.
Swap for being generous and covering all your fees. Soundbar.
So yeah, man, it's that simple. That's how simple it is. And I guess people are not understanding it because they're thinking, no, this can't be real.
True.
Well, it's real.
It is real. And probably, Danny, you know this better than I do because you've been in this space longer. A lot of people have maybe been in different projects
Yes.
making similar commitments, and the shelf life is like 30 days
Yeah.
or they
Yes.
get rugged. So everyone's a bit skeptical. So
Yes.
it's going to take a handful of people to really have the courage, the disposable income, whatever they feel comfortable with,
Yep.
to actually try it, interact with it, have a great experience, and then start
Yes.
sharing their personal testimonies, because they will
Yes.
come. And I'm gonna be honest
Oh,
with
for
you.
sure.
Hey, I said that earlier. I'm gonna be candid with you.
Yeah.
I was slow to jump in, and it was
Yes.
had zero to do with you. Zero to do with you.
Yeah.
It was more about, my goodness, here it is, something else new. It kind of looks and feels the same, but I
Yep.
didn't really dig into it to say, no, it's completely different. And so I kind of
Yes.
put you in a box, and that's unfair. But I would imagine other people are thinking the same. And
Oh,
once we
totally.
come out of our shell and really come up with the amount of money that we're comfortable with, we'll find out that this is a really good project with great tokenomics and sustainability.
Yes. Totally, brother. And I just it is a great project. And again, I'm not out there to compete with anybody. Okay, we're not out there to compete. It's about collaborate rather than compete, and that's something I really love. And I'm not telling people, oh, don't go and do these other things because this is a safer bet. No, I'm not doing that at all. Go out and do these other things. You want to go and do your degen plays and you want to make higher APRs, by all means do it. We're not saying replace that with this, but just consider stable swap as an option for you. Once you've made that money and you want to go and store it somewhere and actually, make some money off that money that's just being stored in there, and it's not going to fluctuate and it's not going to have that volatility, well, stable swap's a good option.
Yeah,
That's
it
all I'm
is.
saying.
I didn't put enough money in there. That's all I got to say. Hey,
Yeah.
Danny, I was trying to make the promotion, my friend. I got it. And Emmett, you're next up. I was trying to make the promotion. Emmett sent me a message in TG. Hey, Kryptonite. I was like, okay. And I was like, is there a promotion? He was like, no, there's not a promotion. I was like, miss me with that. And he bounced back and sent me something,
Yeah.
and I reached out. I was like, oh my goodness, if you speak it into the universe, be careful what you
Yeah.
ask for, because you just might get it.
Absolutely.
So you were running a
Absolutely.
promotion the first week of February. And I was like, you know what? I know Danny. I consider him a friend in the
Yeah.
space. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and support him, because I've supported people I don't know in the space.
Yeah.
So why not support him? And it's a stable coin. I get rewards daily. So there's an opportunity for me to de-risk every 24 hours. I was
Yes.
like, I've got to do it, right? I got to do it. So shout out to you for building something which on the surface seems sustainable. You guys are on the
Yeah.
heels of $1 million in TVL. And I know Emmett is like, KK, can you stop talking so I can get in here? So yes, Emmett, I'll stop talking so you can get in here. Emmett, welcome to the call, my friend.
Hey, brother.
How you doing tonight, Danny?
Oh, fantastic, bro.
I'm glad you made it into my favorite place to come and learn and meet new people. It's good to hear
Yeah.
your voice, brother.
Right
Thank you,
on,
bro.
man. Thanks, Emmett. And thanks for pushing, gently, You didn't smack me in the back of my head and say, "Hey, KK." No, you didn't do that. It was a
No,
gentle
I only
approach.
shove people down the hill gently with my steel-tipped work boots. Gently, gently.
Right
Uh,
on. Danny, look, man, this is good. Like the last thing, and then you'll tell me if there's anything else
yeah,
you want to add, because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure we
for
cover
sure,
it.
for sure.
Here's the mistake that I made, right? So do you have a big family at all?
Yeah, actually, even just my own family. I have 6 children.
There it
Right, I
is.
have 6 children, but 3 of them are in Australia and they're like adults now. So, they have their own lives, and I have 3 here with me. I also have 5 siblings. So,
Okay.
obviously the family's growing out,
So
growing
lots
from
of
there as
nieces
well.
and nephews then too, probably.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely. Well, look, I've got a big family too, and I made the mistake to let people know how well I'm doing in
Hmm.
Stable Swap, and so now they're asking me for money, right?
Yeah. Oh
So,
man, I've been there.
so let me ask you this: so, is there a way for you to transfer money in Stable Swap?
Absolutely. There's
See,
internal transfer as well.
yes,
And something that we're looking to implement in the near future as well, because I mean, that's a good point. People are asking you for money, and, you know,
hey,
give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. And that's an opportunity that we are going to be bringing on board here in the near
sweet,
future, where you can actually do a transfer, or you can actually airdrop to liquidity provision rather than just to somebody's wallet. That's something that's coming in
nice,
the near future. Okay. So,
yes,
giving them something that they can generate income from as well themselves, instead of always waiting for handouts. But
love
yes,
it.
there's definitely an internal transfer feature here. So if you have a family member that's also on StableSwap, all you need is their username or their email, and you can transfer funds to their account via this,
Hmm.
which is, again, factors in our remittance side of things.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah, over here in the Philippines, it's multi-billion-dollar industry is remittance, because obviously you've got lots of overseas foreign workers, overseas Filipino workers, which what they call them. The Philippines, their biggest export is their people, and obviously those
I
people
don't know how I
going
feel
out,
about
and
that one. That's interesting, but yeah,
yeah,
okay.
and
Yeah,
they're sending money back to family members here in the Philippines, okay,
got
to
it.
support their family members, and they can actually do that through StableSwap, as opposed to using the other options like your Western Unions and things like that, where the fees can be, excessively high in some cases. So doing it through here, allowing them to have a StableSwap account, you can send transfer money straight through StableSwap into their accounts, and then because of our OTC over here, they can go straight from StableSwap into I think we've got 57 banks and
Oh,
financial institutions that are with us, so they can go straight from that into fiat, into pesos.
soundbar.
Yeah.
Love it. And those fees are small. I've got down here
Yes.
0.5%, a minimum of 25
Yes.
bucks and as much as 50,000. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a
Point five
flat
point.
fee. It doesn't fluctuate. It's a flat fee of the
No,
0.5%.
well, it's yeah, 0.5% regardless of the amount.
Got it. Right on. That is fantastic. All right. So
Yep.
I'm not going to send them any money. I'm actually going to teach them how to fish. So they've got to get
Yeah,
their own
man.
stable swap account. Right on. That's what I'm going to
That's
do,
what it
brother.
should be. Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah,
brother,
brother.
that was the lightning round, my friend. Are you sweating? Do you feel like it
Man,
was a pop
I'm
quiz?
loving it.
My
I'm
man.
loving it, bro. All of my things are always off the cuff, man. I don't rehearse anything, and so
That's
obviously I take time to educate myself and understand my business 100%, so I can, I can relay and give these answers effectively, and honestly, I don't have to
Yes.
try to hide anything,
No.
and that's what I love about this. I don't have to hide anything.
Thank
It's
God.
just, yeah, it's a beautiful feeling. I can sleep well at night. I don't have to
Thank
think that
God.
someone's pointing a gun to the back of my head.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
I agree. And for you, to your point, that's just kind of how you were put together. That's how he made you, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And to even be on the hills of literally, let's get to let's see here. Drip Community PHC. You thought I forgot about you. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So he was curious to know how long it's going to take to get to 1 million in liquidity. But right now, you guys are
Okay.
sitting at $993,161.
Yeah,
So,
man. I imagine that'll either happen today or tomorrow.
right on.
Okay, and a big shout out to Mike as well, Crypto Drip Community PH. He's one of the very few people out there that have actually also tasted the Alakazam, because he came to visit me in the office,
That
and he
is
and his
sweet.
wife
I'm
came to,
jealous.
yeah. They came into the office one evening, and we sat down and had a chat. Explained a little bit more, answered their questions, and then they asked about the Alakazam, so I brought it out, and we had we had a few drinks in the office, and that was really good. So shout out to you, Mike.
Right on. Shout out to you, Mike.
So yeah, look, I strongly believe that we'll hit that million either today or tomorrow. Which, if you want me to drop this alpha,
wait a minute, you got alpha? You got some. Hey, I need a special alert. Thank you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you got to drop
if
the
you're
alpha.
ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, guys. So basically, what we've had is we started off the month with an amazing promotion, which just through that promotion we did. I think it was over $240,000 in a day.
That's
right?
crazy.
Because that promotion that was within 24 hours, 48 hours or something, 24 hours actually. And so we decided to extend the promotion after that. Now, just as a little bit of alpha, it is the Chinese Lunar New Year this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the month of love, being Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So February is obviously going to be special, and that special is starting tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's been people waiting. I know that they're expecting more promos coming through this month, and that is actually going to start tomorrow. And I'll give you a few particulars on it now, because it is going to be, starting tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, 2 p.m. my time, which,
Okay.
so 2 p.m. my time is when we're going to start that off. And we're going to make it a little bit different. And also at the moment, we still have that additional promo where direct referral bonus is paying out 9% as well. So that's still running until the 10th. So that's going to run with this other promo that we're going to be launching tomorrow. And it's going to make it a little bit fun. So for the next 9 days, starting tomorrow, we will be having random varying APRs.
Oh, okay.
So the fun in it is choosing which day you're going to go into, because the first day could be higher, the next day could be, but it'll always be higher than the standard rate. Okay. The standard rate at the moment is 0.35%. And this is only for the 300 days. This is only for the long term. Okay. But it can vary. So, for example, one day it can be 0.45, the next day it could be 0.39, the day after that could be 0.44 or whatever. And that's going to be running for the next 9 days, starting tomorrow. So, guys,
Soundbar.
if you got your little bags.
Soundbar, baby. 9 days. Make no excuses. Yes. You've got plenty of time to get your affairs in order.
Yeah. That's right. And it's just a matter of you picking the day that you think is going to be the best for you, right? So, so that will be varying APRs over the next 9 days. Each one of those is obviously going to be more than the 0.35%. Yeah. And somewhere in amongst that, I'm going to say it, there's going to be a 0.46.
Woo! Soundbar.
All right.
Okay, we got a 0.46. Danny, man, one, I wasn't expecting it, but maybe I was, because you've always pulled something out of your sleeve, my friend. And you're just a kind, considerate, giving person, so I'm not totally surprised. I'm more appreciative that you actually dropped the alpha on my spaces. So right on to you, my
brother.
friend. So,
I appreciate you, man.
Here's what I'm going to do as well, because I really want to encourage people to find out more about StableSwap. Right. So neither one of us are going to tell people to jump in. We're just going to suggest that they do their own research and they find out more. And if they're compelled to, it's a very low cost of entry, right? Just a minimum of $25. And you've got 3 options. So if you're a bit risk averse, you can do something short term, which is like the 60 days, right? And if you're feeling kind of froggy, you can jump out there and go as far as 300 days, right? So there's a lot of options, very low cost of entry. So here's what I would like to do. It's okay with you. So I'm actually going to help promote the Telegram page, if that's okay. I don't know if it's public. Okay, perfect. So it is public. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me see if I saved it. Let me pull it up here really quick.
Yes, please. And I think it's super important for people to be in the Telegram, because you'll be updated on all the promos and all the things that are going on, and you'll see the activity on StableSwap through the Telegram group, because it does send up bots every time that someone does make a new liquidity provision. So, there's proof for you that things are working.
Sweet. So perfect. So I didn't guess that, but yeah, I did. So here's what I'm going to do, because not a lot of people spend time in Telegram. That's where you get all the information. So I'm like, yo, we got to lead the sheep to where the information is, right? So here's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
I'm actually going to do a giveaway, right? And here's how it works. It's really just 3 simple steps. So I'm going to randomly select 2 people to win $10 in USDT. Okay, randomly select 2 people, $10 in USDT for them to participate in StableSwap. And here's all they've got to do, right? 3 steps. First thing you got to do is create an account, right? So I'll have my affiliate link somewhere in this text message I'm going to be sending out, right? In this tweet. Create an account. Step 2, deposit the minimum of $25, right? Deposit the minimum of $25. And then once you've done step number 1 and step number 2, the third step is to go into the StableSwap Telegram and type this: Danny and KK sent me. All right? 3 simple steps. Create the account, deposit a minimum of $25. Once step 1 and 2 are done, go to TG and say Danny and KK sent me. And you guys have 48 hours to do that. And I will send 2 random people $10 to deposit into StableSwap. Sound ball.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Right on.
That's great, brother. I really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you.
Really appreciate it.
I really do. So Danny, look, man, that's all I got, brother. Look, I don't know if there's any final thoughts, any questions, comments from our listeners. I appreciate everybody hanging in there. The floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, man. Look, okay. Well, one last thing I will do, because people have been asking me about this, and they've been messaging on the Telegram and making a mention of this $1 million. Okay, when we hit the million, which could be any time now, I'll be honest with you, I know that there's people out there with enough funds that are sitting in their StableSwap wallet, just waiting for the right time, that will send us over that $1 million, and it could happen like right now, this minute, if they wanted to. But here's another little special thing I'm going to throw out there, is that when we hit that mill, whether it's today or tomorrow or whenever, I will do a live stream, and I'll give away I'll do giveaways up to 500 USDT.
Woohoo!
On a live stream. So that that could be divided up into like 25s or 50s or 100s or whatever, but I'll do up to 500. I'll do 500 USDT giveaway. So there you go. Quote me on that one. I'll do that when we hit the 1 million.
That's worth another soundbar. Danny, man, here's what's going to happen. They're going to play back, because whenever we play back, you just never know with the time how many people are going to get on live. Yeah, but man, I have hundreds of listeners afterwards, and people are going to be floored by, 1, your personal testimony, the project StableSwap itself, and then the giveaway. Man. $25. Well, the cost of entry should not prevent people from at least doing some research and finding out whether or not it works for them. So I'm excited for you being as transparent as you are.
There you go. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you having me on here and giving me this opportunity. Man, it's overwhelming, again, the response we're getting from the community. I'm not out there shilling. I don't do it. There's many groups I could go to and shill, but I don't do it. I'm all about organic growth, and that organic growth comes from people's testimonies and how it's working for them. So, I'm not here personally to build the hype train. If people want to do the hype train, that's great for them. But for me personally, no, man, I'm just going to keep plodding along and doing what I do, and trying to provide, the best opportunities for the community. And, I want everyone to win, right? I want everybody to win. And that's what this is all about. Liquidity by the people, for the people. Stable swap it is.
Yo! And on that note, Danny, again, a pop star and a legend in the space, man. You're a great ambassador for crypto and DeFi specifically. Look, here's what I'm going to say to everyone that hung in there. We appreciate you guys spending time with us. We actually saved you time. We said about $1.59. We're at $1.21.
Oh, there you go.
So you're welcome. I
Awesome,
definitely
brother.
appreciate everyone hanging in there. So as we do
Yes,
every
thank
week,
you all.
Danny, I go out with roll call, man. But between now and then, I wish everybody peace and prosperity. Stay hydrated, everyone. All right, right on, Danny. Hey, I'm gonna call you directly in TG if you've got time. Sweet.
Yeah,
sweet,
man,
sweet,
for sure. Absolutely,
okay,
brother. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you. Take care, everyone. All right, Emmett, I see you. FL Realtor, right on. Drip Community PH, appreciate you. Mo Crypto Neptune, right on. Appreciate you. Trap DeFi. I saw your message. I got you. I'll get back to you right after this call. Who else we got? Trader T-Man, my guy, blast from the past. As Crypto 101, Legacy. I see you, brother. Jerry Livingston, appreciate you hanging in there. You're in there for the whole call. Right on, brother. Who else we got? Team Fuzzy Crypto, appreciate you. Steve Riley, I see you. And last but certainly not least, Lillian. Again, everyone, I wish you all peace, prosperity. Stay hydrated. We out.